Call the meeting to order. Ms. Gore, will you call the roll, please?
Ms. Conley.
Present.
Dr. Diop.
Present.
Mr. Benjamin.
Present?
Mr. Dunn.
Present.
Ms. Barnes.
Present.
Thank you. Will you all stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? Dr. Biox, will you lead us in the pledge?
I'd be honored. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, we'll start tonight with a presentation. So I will give that to you, Superintendent.
Okay, so just to brief you on Arlington Community Schools being recognized for our music programs, we have been named Best Communities in Music Education. That's 6 years in a row that we have received this honor. This reward or this accolade, what it does, it requires an application process, but the district must substantiate that we fully support in our resources, our music programs from the youngest learners to the oldest learners. So I appreciate the board because you have approved funding and resources to help with our programs, and that is part of the requirement here. We have Nick Averwater here tonight. He's the Vice President of Amro Music Stores, and he asked to come because he would like to recognize Arlington Community Schools.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Clark. That was perfect. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Chairman Benjamin, thank you for a few minutes of your time into the school board. My name is Nick Averwater, and I'm the Vice President at Amro Music. It was actually my great-grandfather that started Amro in 1921. Been over 100 years now in the greater Memphis community. And I'm also here on behalf of NAM, the National Association of Music Merchants, who the NAM Foundation is who recognizes school boards just like this one through the best communities for music education. Now, each year, the Music Industry Association, NAM, recognizes school districts across the country with its Best Communities for Music Education Award. Now, thousands of districts are eligible, but less than 1,000 districts across the country are recognized with this award. That's about 5% of all the districts in the United States are recipients of this designation. And as Superintendent Clark mentioned, it's awarded not just based on overall funding, but also things on a number of factors like accessibility of music programs, how much music, at what age do they start in music, the variety of music, student enrollment, and then, of course, community achievement as well. And so I'm excited to announce that Arlington Community Schools joins just 12 other districts in the state of Tennessee as being a recipient for NAM's Top Communities for Music Education, and it also is the 6th consecutive year to receive this honor. So again, highlights one of the many outstanding things taking place here in the community. Of course, this didn't happen by accident, rather thanks to the efforts and leaderships of educators and administrators like yourself across the district. The school board has clearly made the performing arts and fine arts a continued educational priority, for which I'm here to say thank you. And of course, I couldn't do this without recognizing the educators in their classroom, those like Mr. Simpson and Mr. Shermer, Ms. Herring, Mrs. Price, and the many educators, principals, counselors, parents, and supporters of music in the district from the elementary school all the way up to Arlington High School. Being named to Best Communities for Music Education is a reflection on the efforts of many. So on behalf of all of us at Amro Music, NAM, and the Memphis music community, congratulations to the Arlington Community Schools on being recognized as the Best Communities for Music Education. I thank you all for your continued commitment to our community, leadership to our schools, and of course support for music education. So thank you. We have, round of applause. So from the team at Amro, we have 6 of these framed and ready to go. Y'all can put them in the high school auditorium, in the school office here, the high school band room, whatever looks great. So I'll leave these behind for y'all. And if you don't mind, I would love to just snap a picture with all of you and maybe capture this in the background. And we'd love to recognize you guys on the Amro Facebook page as well.
For sure.
Would that be okay?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
On my chair, thank you.
Chair for you.
That was in the picture.
Where we going?
I think if we get right here, I'll get that best communities right behind you. Yep, yep. There we go. All right. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. This one, 2. All right, if you don't mind, let me get one with my camera as well. All the cameras and viewers. Oh, you want it with ACS? Okay, I'll get that in the back too.
Well, we'll certainly tag.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
That slide in the back.
Yeah, yeah, I got the slide in the back.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate your time. Congratulations. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll leave these right here for Al.
Thank you.
That's really cool to get to highlight that. That's 6 years in a row. I mean, that's a big deal, where that doesn't necessarily get all, our fine arts and music education doesn't always get the headlines in the newspapers. That's a really cool thing, and I'm glad that we have had the opportunity to contribute to that and support that, and we'll continue to do so. All right, we'll move forward. Citizens' comments, I think I have one. Is that correct, Ms. Gore? All right, so I will ask Katrin, is that right? Awesome. And Kayla, is that right? How about that? How about that? If you will state your name and address for the record.
Yes.
And then after that, we'll give you a couple of minutes to state what it is that you've come here to talk about. Just know that this is a time for you to just express that to us. We won't necessarily reply. We might reply, but we're not necessarily required to reply in this particular setting. But we will probably follow up with you have somebody follow up you if that's pertinent to what you're coming
Thank you.
to. All right, absolutely.
My name is Katrin Valencia, and my address is 3127 Woodland Fir in Lakeland, Tennessee. My daughter's picture was up there. She's done All-State, and so she's been part of your music department. I really appreciate that. That's not what I'm here for, but it is very exciting to see that happen. It's very, very well deserved. So my daughter in 8th grade went to Lakeland, and she got 2 Bs they were actually A's there. She got a 92 in Spanish honors, and she would have been the first graduating class in Lakeland. We already had an Arlington high school student, and so we decided to put her in Arlington. Plus, we had kids that were there when Lakeland Middle School opened, and a lot of their programming wasn't started yet for the first year, so we decided to put her here. Those 2 A's that were A's at Arlington or at Lakeland, when they transferred here, they were B's there. They were A's there. They were considered a B here. And then a couple years later, she got a 92, and here it would have been a 93 that she would have needed to get an A. A couple years later, your policy changed to be 90 and above, so right now it technically would be an A. So it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but my daughter's gotten straight A's all through high school. She's in all AP classes. She's taken honors or APs. She's been in All-State choir several times. She's competed at Model UN, presented before you guys, got Best Advanced Attorney Award there. She's in all kinds of clubs, president, and she will never be able to get a 4.0. And she wants to apply to Yale. Sorry. She wants to apply to Yale and Vanderbilt. We're so proud of her. And these 2 Bs that are on her transcript, as you know, those very competitive schools. And so we're just concerned, and also for scholarships. So she's going to be applying for scholarships at these places. I've gone through all of the channels that I can go through with the district. I'm big on following a chain of command. When I talked to the ACH, let me just give you the name of the person that I talked to. Todd, the chief of academics, Todd Goforth, super friendly, like amazing. He was very helpful. What he indicated was that because it was already sent to the state, that because at this point, she doesn't need the credits at all. So I'm just asking that they be taken off of her transcript. She has enough Spanish classes, just take them off so that she can have her straight A's and be taken off of her transcript here. I would like that to happen, and if it can't, then I'll go to the state. But I didn't want to overstep the board before I went to the state. I have talked to Representative Mark White, who goes to my church, who I'm good friends with, who's the chairman of the education committee, so he would be the next person I would go to. So he asked me to tell him what happened here, but again, we just want to follow the chain of command. So I don't know if you want to, that was probably more than 2 minutes, but if you want to say anything.
That's okay. If you'd like to speak.
Okay.
No, I've actually met most of you because obviously I do take a lot of leadership roles at my school. I've met you in Nashville where I've sung with my a cappella group. I actually presented at a board meeting. I'm the government club president now, but I spoke after winning Best Advanced Attorney Award at one of these meetings. And so, I mean, I know most of your kids, like this truly, like, I want to continue that pattern of excellence that I've continued all throughout high school. And I know that I'm going to go far and do lots of things after high school. I mean, I want to go, I'm actually doing an internship right now at a law firm, so I want to go to law school. I want to be a politician, and I have so many bigger things that I want to do, and this is really just another part of that pattern of excellence that I really want to correct. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, and I appreciate you coming to the board, and I'm really excited about you and your future. That's really excellent and awesome, a path that you're on, and it has been good to interact with you some throughout these things for sure. Excited about what you want to do, your high aspirations. That's something to be commended in today's world as well. I think right now it has been a no from our administration per policy. And what we'll do is we'll follow up with you again with a message from the board once we get a chance to talk as well. I know it is a policy issue, and so but we'll talk about that, and we'll have somebody follow back up with you and let you know for sure.
Great.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Good job.
All right, we will move to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Ms.
Second.
Conley, a second by Ms. Barnes. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion passes. I'll move to reports. Chairman's report, I'll start, and I'll be very brief today. I just want to commend again our staff. I had an opportunity to come to a central office this week whenever Dr. Clark met here with the central office staff through the death of one of our employees, and they had an opportunity to speak and talk about her and the impact that she had had on their lives, and it was a really cool thing to see people express their kindness or their words of kindness about Miss Clara, and I was glad that people got a chance to do that. Here's the thing that I want to say in light of that. I love to watch the employees here now. There has been such a change in atmosphere, such a caring atmosphere that's created. And Dr. Clark, you have led that.
Thank you.
And it is very noticeable. It is very palatable in places where I go, in the schools that I go. Specifically here at central office, because obviously that's where you are and where you spend a lot of your time. But even in the schools, as I've gone and watched and listened, and there's just a very palatable change in people being cared for and cared about, and the freedom to do their jobs. And I am really thankful for that. And so I appreciate that. That you have not only created but led in allowing our other leaders, our principals in our schools to create that thing as well. And so I think there's only a couple principals here, and I really appreciate you guys too doing that in your schools, because it was a much needed change, and I appreciate your being willing to take that and run with it and let your teachers and your coaches and your administrators and anybody that works in your school do the jobs they were hired to do. And so I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's all I got to say. Oh, we'll move on. Superintendent's report.
Okay. Well, I believe pictures help a lot, Mr. Overby. Thank you. Pictures just bring things to life. And so when I speak of them, when you can connect it to visuals, that's the teacher in me making those connections. I feel strongly it helps. So we have been part of Summer Learning Camp, and this is our last week for Summer Learning Camp. And Mr. Jason Reed, he served as the administrator this summer. We took that off of our elementary principals, alternating that out. We had an application process. He was selected by the panel to serve as the administrator for Summer Learning Camp. His leadership has been great. He's given the teachers of the Summer Learning Camp autonomy. And I really I've been there several times, and I want to commend the teachers, because any time of the day that I go over there, just drop in, the students are always engaged in learning, but they're having fun with it. They make it very game-like activities. In our portrait of a graduate, what is important is one of our strategies is to have project-based learning, hands-on project-based learning. So they definitely have accomplished that this summer. You'll see the young lady at the top. She's creating a miniature zoo using STEM theories and design. So they all got to do that, and we have a picture of her. Then the next, they dissected owl pellets, which are owl throw-up. You'll see the young man at the bottom and up there at the top. Now, the reason they do that is the remains of an owl's meal, fur, bones, teeth, those are regurgitated out. Those are basically what he doesn't want to eat. I'm just sharing with you what it is.
What kind of presentation is this?
It's showing the engagement. Now, Mr. Benjamin, when you were that age, wearing a ball cap, you're going to tell me you wouldn't be intrigued by that kind
That's
of
fair.
learning?
That's true. I'm an old man now. That's actually
And the
fair.
theme, we have a theme in everything we do in this district. It's called Wild About Animals. And so I got to come over, because I always like to spend time with the students, because that's where you get your breath of fresh air. That today I went over and I was able to read to the rising kindergarten, rising first grade, and rising second grade students. And it was a great time. I love them. They're full of energy, very full of energy. I commend the teachers who teach on a daily basis, day in, day out. Takes a lot of energy and a lot of patience, but we have precious students. They did a great job. They're very intelligent. I'm impressed by what they can retain and the questions they ask and things that I share with them as well. Their favorite activity is pickleball. No surprises there.
That's the thing.
My teenager plays that every day.
So, pickleball, that's what they love to do. Then we had our sports camps this summer, baseball, soccer, basketball. Also, we had wrestling and art camps, so you'll see our students engaged there. And next is our roofs. You'll notice our athletic complexes. They are the white and the gray color with the metal roof, so those are new. And we're trying to keep that design cohesive with our athletic complexes, and then our high school, you'll see the red brick. So they look different, but in a group, we're keeping it similar there. There is not much to see right now on the football field house right now, because it's all behind the scenes and underneath the ground type work, but soon we will get there and it will be exciting. Next, what I want to share is our Arlington High School welding program. At the March board meeting, you approved through support in the Innovative Schools Model Grant, the clean air welding stations. I've also given you a handout on one side that shows that. And these stations provide clear work areas for students and expand their hand-on learning, but also assist in ventilation within the space. And so here shortly, I will be requesting approval for one more item, 12 of them, to go into our welding. So we're really remodeling that, giving them bays and equipment that will be safer and more efficient for them as well. So I just want to share with you that you can see there's a lot of work going on at the high school with our welding, and then in the upper left-hand corner are the clean air stations that you approved for purchase in March. Next is, in the spring, Mr. Ruff, Ms. Sappensley, and myself, we met with each principal individually and went over their wish list. And these are some miscellaneous capital improvement projects that Mr. Ruff and his team have already been busy at work, and they're wrapping up a lot of this week, and then of course they'll finish in July. The upper left-hand corner you see in the entrance of the Arlington Elementary across from the cafeteria, there was space there. Our counselors at the elementary school, one was cubicle more open in a library doing her counseling, and then another counselor was having to share space with two other teachers in a classroom. Not a classroom with a lot of students, but small group type. So what this has done is 2 of those offices will be used for counselors to have their individual space, and then one of the offices will be with small group type work with students and counseling. So that will help quite a bit there at Arlington Elementary School. And then on the right upper corner, we have new fence and gate outside the Donaldson Elementary playground for security, and also extended a sidewalk. Also, you'll see the nice fence that we put up. It's also at our Arlington High School with the outside eating area in the back. We have, Mr. Ruff's team has done some really nice fence around that area as well. And then in the lower left-hand corner, Arlington Elementary School was our last library that still had carpet in it. So we removed the carpet, and Mr. Ruff's team, they put the LVT down. So that is a better choice, I definitely feel, in an elementary and in that library of high foot traffic. Then at Arlington High School, lower right-hand corner, in the Arlington High School Cafe and Connected Quarter to match the Arlington Fine Arts, you'll see the flooring there, and we're making plans to look at expanding that through the rotunda and all the way through. So those are some of the latest additions that Mr. Ruff's team has been busy at completing this summer, and it's just June, so he has July to finish more. And that completes it.
May I say something before we leave the superintendent, please?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Clark for doing an outstanding job of presenting the budget for the second time to the board and aldermen. I wasn't able to be there, but my family was there, and I got a text, she was awesome.
Well, thank you. I
anyway,
appreciate that.
I thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with me. I do want to ask one of the executive staff members has a report. I don't know if others do. Ms. Walker, do you have anything to share?
Just a brief thing.
Okay.
I just want to remind you that tomorrow is our first new employee onboarding, and we'll be serving breakfast between 7:45 and 8:30 if you want to swing by, or if you want to come by a little bit later, just pop your head in to meet our new hires. You are more than welcome. That's it.
Thank you.
Ms. Sappensley is at a nutrition conference this week in Tennessee, so she wasn't able to be here tonight. She doesn't have a report. Mr. Ruff? Let's see, Ms. Douglas, no report. Ms. Speakman?
The entire consent
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. Mr. Hill, do you have a report or anything? Okay.
Where is that breakfast tomorrow?
Here.
What are we having?
And just like that, he's coming.
That's right.
Well, he hadn't decided yet until he
I know,
figured out.
I don't know what we were having first.
Okay, good evening. Just two quick things. First, I wanted to give a year-end. I seem really loud in this. I'm going to step back just a tad. I want to give a year-end legacy grant report. I know we've talked about it pretty much throughout the whole year. You've heard some people talk about it. You've heard kind of the impact. But I just want to look at that impact at a glance. So 85 grants were awarded across all campuses this year. That totaled $445,378 in total approved funds of that $500,000 legacy grant program. So I'll say that again because I got messed up. $445,378 in that total approved. So when we look at what that funded, the top areas, the top would be academic competitions and travel. So we heard from a student earlier about Model UN, youth and government, the TSBA presentation and ceremony that they went to, student council. So think things like that. The second kind of category would be classroom innovation and student support programs. So STEM supplies, therapy tools, career-focused experiences, support for clubs and organizations like next year's elementary drone club that's starting at both elementary schools. So that's that second kind of category. And then the third would be athletic competitions or athletic needs. So going to competitions, startup funds for different programs like boys volleyball, right? Because that was a brand new program. They didn't have a booster club yet, so that helped pay for basically all of their travel this past season. So that would be the third largest category. So basically academic competition, really classroom innovation, clubs and organizations, fine arts, and then athletics and their needs. So when we look at the historical legacy of this program, this is the second year, but in its first year as a program, we awarded about $300,000 in approved legacy grants. So that brings this program's total in its 2-year history to about $846,000 in approvals that have gone directly back to the schools. So I'll just make note, you know this, but for the public, this is a district-funded grant program. This is not from outside sources. This is a very specific earmarked category in the budget that you guys approved that is really just giving these funds back to students, back to teachers, and back to families. Really, when you look at a lot of the things that we covered, we are either offsetting the cost of these trips or these competitions or supplies, or paying for it totally, where there is no financial burden on families. So that's close to $1 million going back to families across these 2 years. So I think that's a great legacy to already have in this legacy grant program. We'll go on to year 3, and excited to see what we're able to fund in the years to come. So before I move on to my next thing, any questions about legacy grant?
I do
or
have a question.
Okay.
Is this allowing some offset in cost to parents as far as fees, upfront fees, things like that? Do we know how that's playing itself out? Like my kids play in baseball because I had one. Is that low? Are we seeing that lower any fees for entry into the sport, the club, anything at all like that?
I don't know if I could give you specific numbers right now, but I will say something that Dr. Clark worked with Todd Goforth and academics was really reevaluating the fees that we're assessing across the district, whether that's classroom fees for like curriculum and different courses they're involved in, or re-examining fees for sports organizations, clubs, that sort of thing. So I know they went through that process to see where we can lower, but it has definitely offset I don't want to say surprise fees, but let's say you're part of baseball and you pay, I'm just throwing this number out, a $300 fee to be part of baseball. Well, the state tournament could be seen as a surprise fee, right? Because you make the state tournament, so now all of a sudden you have hotel costs, you have transportation costs. The legacy grant would then come in and pay that. So that is totally offsetting what could be a fee to parents. But
Girls flag football.
girls flag
This year
football
would have been-
is another example.
Yeah.
For sure, we paid for transportation and hotel costs, so that would
mean,
have been
it's
something
huge.
parents had to pay,
Yeah.
but they didn't. So we could certainly go back and look to see if that has helped lower some of those fees, but I do know Dr. Clark went through that process.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We went through it because those are required fees because they're outside of that school day. They're not tied to instruction. So what we did was instead of every year, people get comfortable and they get into the ditto. We really, Mr. Goforth worked very diligently and close with the principals, and then we would regroup Ms. Sappinsley and myself to make sure we're following all the state laws and everything, and really question these fees of, do you really need this? It shouldn't be, well, we've always charged that.
Yeah.
You know, really getting down to fine tuning to the point that Ms. Sappinsley looked at what was in accounts, and we looked at what we know are in these accounts and what we can fund. So why are you charging the same fee when you have money in the accounts? What is the money in the accounts paying for? And making sure the boosters support where they need to support as well. So we revisit that and really, with a fine tooth comb, went through there and really wanted to make sure that the fees that are being charged, they have to be charged.
Good, great, thank you.
And on that front, what's also helped as far as like the legacy grant program, one of the things they have to do is tell us if they have a booster club or if they have a school account, how much is left in that account. And so if we see that they've stated they have $12,000, we'll go back and ask, hey, is this $12,000 earmarked? Are you using it for something? Is there any plans, or are you just sitting on it? And if you're just sitting on the funds and we say, well, maybe you need to spend that down because you've collected that from students and it needs to be used. So that allows us in the legacy grant program to really spread those dollars even further and make sure that it's not going to, clubs and organizations that are just sitting on cash.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
Yeah, that's helped.
Good, thank you.
So my second thing, and I'll try to be quick with this, just wanted to kind of give you a little preview of something that I think is cool. Everyone's talking about artificial intelligence right now. That's the thing. But our website has a little AI feature that Dr. Clark and I thought would be good to kind of showcase to you now that it's officially live on the website. So we use Finalsite as our vendor. They're a pretty big name in school websites. We switched to the site a year ago, so this is our second school year coming up on this. But they have implemented, of course, artificial intelligence like every other company is doing. But I will say I'm super excited about it because I think it's going to be beneficial for our parents and really beneficial for us to understand maybe what communication isn't flowing well to parents to make sure that we're addressing their questions and needs in a timely manner. So basically, when you log on to the site now, in the bottom right corner, you have what's called Ask Arlie. We were able to name it. So I was like, Arlington. Arlie's kind of a cool name. So Ask Arlie. So it's different from, chatbots have been around for like a long time. The difference between a regular chatbot versus more of this kind of artificial intelligence is that a chatbot uses predefined rules or a predefined script. It's limited in what it can do. A lot of times the questions are very predefined, and what it gives you back is also a defined script based on what the account holder basically wants to convey to you. Where this AI is a little different is that it's context aware, meaning it understands the question a little more intuitively, and then it relies on the public information that you have on your website to answer it back in a thoughtful way that really addresses the question that you have. It understands different languages, so if you are a Spanish speaker and that's how you have your browser settings configured, it will answer back to you in that native language. But like I said, it's really cool because it's basically scrubbing what's already public on your site, but also other things that we can put in the background that we wouldn't necessarily put public facing. I'll give you an example of that. Our Arlington High School One Book that we give to new freshmen and new students. It's like a 26-page packet. It's a PDF. It's not accessible, meaning it's not good for people with disabilities because PDFs aren't great for those who are blind. They wouldn't necessarily be able to read it if it's not an accessible document. So that's not great to put on the website for those accessibility reasons, but it is good for this Ask Arlie because we're able to put it in the background of the website and is able to read that information in the one book that isn't necessarily public facing on the website. So it's still able to answer questions based on those PDF documents or different materials that we put in the background. So it's kind of powerful in that way, but I'll just give you like a quick example, okay? Live, I hope this works. Now, Ask Arlie is a little boy right now. He's still got some growing to do, so don't fault him for anything that he does wrong. We're learning together, okay? So I'm gonna say, hey, this is Scott Benjamin.
Uh-oh.
What's up? Let's see what it says.
Who?
This is why we don't do live demos, am I right, Russell?
Yes. Exactly. New phone, new program. Who
It probably
dis?
timed out. Yeah, it probably timed out. Okay.
Let's see.
Turn it off and turn it back on, right?
If you say
Exactly.
Hey, it just timed out. on me.
There.
Hey, how can I help you? I'm happy to answer any questions you have about Arlington Community Schools. So let's say I'm an entering freshman. Tell me more about art at AHS. So basically it's going to scrub our online course catalog, which by the way, I think we talked about it here at a board meeting this past year. We took our course catalog from a PDF document and it made it all text-based. So what it is doing here is basically telling all the different courses that we have in regards to art at Arlington High School. It then automatically links you to our course catalog. It's even pulled information from a news article we wrote that AHS was named a Tennessee Arts Academy Arts-Rich School. So it's pulling all of the news articles, all the things that are public-facing to kind of create this response. And so tell me about Art 1. So it can dive in even further to, again, what's on our website. So when I scroll back up, here we go. Okay, here's more information about Art 1. And so it's pulling that from our course catalog. It tells us everything about it, what grade levels it's open to, do you need a teacher recommendation, all the things, and then it will link you to that Art 1 course description in our course catalog. So one last thing about this, and I'll be done. Insights are huge. So every time a question is asked, it gets logged. Then we're able to get reports, whether the AI was able to answer it correctly or not. So then that informs us, okay, something's wrong on our website, or maybe we need to be a little more clear about the information. In turn, I hope that helps principals, but especially I hope it helps our front office staff. They get calls all the time for things that are on our website. So maybe it needs to be a little more forward-facing. Maybe it's too hidden on the website. How can we bring that back to help parents and also future families, those who are looking at joining ACS. So it's a good tool. It learns over time. It just launched on the website last week, so we'll start getting those analytics, probably rolling in like good analytics that we can use about a month into the program. So
Who will make those changes and additions that you guys see? Where does that flow through, and who will? Does it automatically put that into the system, or do you guys have to make any adjustments?
We'll have to make the adjustments.
Okay.
So I'll get a report at the district level, and then we do have a webmaster at each school. So if I see like the high school has a lot of outdated information, I'll work with the webmaster over there to correct that. Gotcha. But even them as their school level webmasters, they'll be able to go on and get these reports as well.
Very cool.
So
That's really cool.
And what is the name of this program again?
So locally, how we branded it is called Ask Arlie. But for like background purposes and for you, our vendor is called Final Site. So they do our website as a vendor. They're also our mass notifications. So robocall, text, email blast. That all kind of goes through this company called Final Site.
So anyone can go to the district website and pull this up and ask Arlie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it's only pulling information that we give it. So
Right.
anything that's already on our website or those kind of documents I was talking about in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good kind of, I guess, security measure in that sense that it's something that it's already public.
Mm-hmm.
You can already find it on the website. It's just helping you find it a little quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Yep,
That's it. Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you,
that's
gentlemen.
awesome.
I believe Mr. Goforth is going to highlight summer learning camp.
Good evening, board members. I'm not Arlie, so sorry. Anyway, seriously, Dr. Clark wanted me to just give you some updates about our summer learning camp. As she mentioned earlier, it does end this week at Donaldson Elementary School. We've had a great 4 weeks. We've had about 180 students enrolled. That's rising kindergarten through rising ninth grade students. Had a really good group over there this year, and like you said, it will end. Our classes end Thursday. And then the theme has been Wild About Animals. So what we're doing is we're allowing all of the students, we got them all tickets, an adult ticket and a student ticket to the Memphis Zoo, and we've given them a scavenger hunt assignment aligned to the Tennessee standards to go to the zoo at the end of camp on Friday or at a time in the summer to go. So like I said, had a good group. But just so you remember, this camp is required by law. It's part of that third grade retention law. So the camp always gives our kids the opportunity to be promoted on to the fourth grade. It's those kids that are not proficient on TCAP in third. So as I say before, we've never really retained a student under the third grade retention law because there's pathways, and this camp is one of those pathways. The focus in the camp is all pretty much on ELA, math, and STEM. And like Dr. Clark mentioned earlier, we've incorporated pickleball to make sure they do have some fun throughout those 4 weeks as well. But, and we do talk to the teachers because like you said, these camps, you know, it's summer and we do want to see some benefits to this. And so the teachers, if you talk to our teachers, they will tell you they do feel like these camps have made a difference as they are required by law. But the smaller classes, the individualized instruction they give the kids, they do see some benefits. The kids are required by law to take a post-test. They take a post-test as well. So they just actually took the post-test. We don't have all those results back yet, but we do think we will see some benefits to this. And like you said, we try to make sure those priority kids that need the extra support, whether they were not proficient on TCAP or say struggling at the local school, has the opportunity to attend the camp. The last thing I do want to say is, as Dr. Clark mentioned earlier, we've had a great 4 weeks, and Mr. Reed has done an outstanding job at that camp as administrator. He has created a very positive culture over there. He's communicated very clearly with all of us of what was going on. So, you know, commend him for his great work in leading that camp as well over there. Last thing I will close with, as Thursday is the last class day, we will have a parent showcase so the parents can attend Thursday at 11:30 to see all of the work that our students have done, the projects and different things. So it's at 11:30 at Donaldson, and of course you all are welcome to attend if your day permits. That's Thursday at 11:30. So anyway, that is summer camps, the Wild About Animals. Any questions?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. We will move on to Mr. Dunn, Legislative Liaison.
You'll be pleased to know we have no report this month.
No report.
Yeah.
Excellent, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll move to consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Conley, second by Mr. Dunn. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion passes. One business recommended action item, Dr. Clark.
Okay, I'm requesting approval to purchase multi-process welding package from Granger for the amount of $149,132.64.
Or do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Biox,
Second.
second by Mr. Barnes. Any discussion? Dr. Clark, anything we know about that further than what you've shared with us already?
Well, what I shared with you previously was the clean air space where they have the ventilation system. That's pretty much the box. On the flip side of that handout I did give you is a piece of equipment. And so we have partnered with More Tech, and with the partnership, their program is one of the most extensive and complete welding programs in the South. And with this partnership, they have working with them, they encouraged us to consider some equipment that is updated to the current welding lab at Arlington High School. And in that process, they recommended some comprehensive multi-purpose welding machines that you would see in the business world. And that machine, that piece of equipment there that I provided you a picture of, it can do various welding procedures can be performed on this one machine, whereas in the past, students had to use various machines in order to complete their task. And so with the funding from the Innovative School Models Grant, we are able to purchase 12 of these new multi-process welders for our students to use at Arlington High School.
And this is one, I think I remember you talking about this before, this is one where we're approving it in the budget, we get the money back from this, from the grant, is that correct?
Right,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then, do we know anything about, does this add or provide additional certifications for our students because we're getting these, or what does that do for us?
I
Do we
don't
that
know,
yet?
Mr. Goforth, do you know much about adding certifications? It's really what I understand, it's to give them more of what is out there in the workforce, and the machinery they're able to work on is a very seamless transition into the workforce, because that's been our goal, and you'll hear that more this upcoming year, but additional certifications.
Yeah, from our understanding, it is the same certifications, and as Dr. Clark said, honestly, the equipment we had was outdated, and this new equipment is updated to match the top of the line, really industry standards that our tech, colleges and different businesses have. So like I said, it's definitely a step up, not necessarily new certifications, but the equipment is definitely updated to get our kids to where they need to be, when they go out to the field, so.
And you'll hear that often this upcoming school year, because I'm already working with each principal, and Miss Douglas, Kim Douglas, part of Mr. Goforth's team, and Mr. Jason Winkler, to make it very seamless in our programs, and particularly making sure students are ready for that workforce, if that's what they choose to do, college or career. We want to make sure we're enhancing our work-based learning as well as our programs at the high school like this, so they can transition right into that workspace.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Any other comments, questions?
I have a kid that's been in that welding program since the 9th grade, so he's super excited. We've been talking about it all summer. He can't wait to get back. Seems like this solves a number of problems, several different machines, so it's cost effective and probably saves storage space. So yeah, it's awesome.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. One more note, I think we don't have a board meeting next month, is that correct?
We do not.
Yeah, no board meeting in July, so have a great summer. We'll see you in 2 months. We are adjourned.
Thank you, sir.